Hello, camera and friends. I've been getting myself pumped up to do this and record some of this while it's fresh on my mind. Maybe so fresh that I'm still in shock, but God told me to quit my job, and I did. I submitted my resignation letter on Monday, and while it didn't happen completely overnight, like God has been setting this up, it kind of felt overnight. Like I've tried to fight this feeling like I need to dive full force, full-time effort into this ministry and into personal eclectic Miriam brand of content creation. And I couldn't shake the feeling enough that I had, and we got some money that we weren't expecting to get. We got a check in the mail that we weren't expecting because of my husband, and we had discussed needing to redo our deck and all this. I haven't been able to shake this feeling. And I started praying more specifically, like, how can I ask my husband, who's just now recovering from major illness, how can I tell him God told me to quit my job? And are you really telling me this? Like, I've wrestled with this and I've prayed and haven't been able to shake it. So I had to, because I'm not single, I had to ask and at least get a begrudging blessing of some kind, because it's money we have because of my husband and we're a team. Like, if I was a single woman and God tells me go do this, I'm on my own. When you're married, when you have the two have become one flesh, you have to take that seriously. So I'm like, God, if this is really you, if it's really of you that I need to do this, like if I am not just crazy, not just imagining this, because I brought it up about a month ago, like when I was really starting to set things up for the channel and across platforms, and thinking, okay, if I'm going to put myself out there in a ministry capacity, then I might as well have some fun and practice by putting some personal things out there, because, you know, there's lots of things, lots of topics I like, lots of things I go to YouTube for and enjoy watching from other people. So I'm like, I'm going to go all in if I'm going to do this. And plus, you know, I can use my personal channel to also try to draw traffic over to the ministry side and, you know, be an ambassador for Christ in my personal walk and in sharing more of my life publicly. I can hear my daughter. I blink and I see ring light echoes. That's kind of trippy. But about a month ago, I was getting excited. I was setting up platforms and I was thinking, I have so idea after idea after idea. Like, how do I have enough time in the day? Even though my job that God provided for this year has only been 4 days a week instead of 5, I'm like, I need time to record. I need time to edit. I need time to, you know, network with people. When I start putting stuff out, I need to be able to reply to people who leave comments, you know, build up some community. I need to watch and engage with other people's stuff. Like, I want to treat this like a business and I want to go all in, and I'm excited about this. Like, I had no idea that God was going to call me to this, and yet it ties so many things together with feeling like an artist when I was little, feeling creative, enjoying different aspects of art, physically, or, you know, drawing or making a scrapbook and collages, music, singing, like artistry. There I am talking with my hands again. I cannot believe I used to make fun of my mother for talking with her hands. Always dangerous to make it is always dangerous to make fun of your mother. You remember that. Dangerous business. So about a month ago, I brought it up with my husband, gently, but I was already feeling this pull in my heart and this excitement and this, oh my gosh, this ties together singing, artistry, all my wanting to start a blog, all my, like, I like writing, I like so many things. I just never knew I would have the boldness and the reason to put my life on social media and be a creator and not a consumer. And so there's this huge convergence of stuff within me that I was already feeling and had brought up and couldn't really articulate to him last month. And he was just kind of like, well, I wouldn't, quit my job until I saw if it was going to do anything, basically. And I'm like, he's right. I get excited. I get on mirror kicks. That's what I call my ADHD adventures, or get all or nothing. If I get interested in something, down the rabbit hole we go. And so I'm like, he's right. He's logical. I get overzealous, I have a great job that has a good bit of downtime, as long as I get my work done, maybe I can use some of that downtime at work to edit videos or do some of what I need to do. But also, I want to be a good steward of the job I've been given, and I don't want to feel like I'm abusing the company's time, because even if nobody's standing over me watching me, I work on the honor system and I want to be contributing, and I'm not content to just collect a paycheck and not contribute. So I didn't feel good about wanting to try to do a bunch of personal stuff at work, even if I have downtime. I feel like I should be trying to make something productive happen for my employer. And so I'm like, he's right, but I can use some downtime. I only work 4 days a week. I can do this. And then over these past few weeks, that feeling grew, the urgency to pray and ask God, like, are you really telling me this for real? And if I'm supposed to talk to my husband and tell him that I feel led to quit my job, like now, like I have felt so strongly that I was going to start 2026 in full-time content creator mode. And, prior to last night, I've released exactly, I think, 3 videos ever on YouTube, okay? And I know it's insane. I know how it sounds. And I had to go to my recovering from brain surgery and sepsis and like whole mess of crap husband and say, I feel strongly enough about this that I have to tell you I believe God is telling me to quit my job and to do this full time, and that he's going to bless our family through this. And I know how it sounds, and I know I get carried away, but I can't shake this, and I have to talk to you about this, and it's really uncomfortable. But that money that we got that we weren't expecting to get, I did the math, and it's approximately like 6 months of my bring home pay. And I had this like time frame of going all in for 6 months on this thing, and that God has called me to this, that God has, 3 or 4 weeks ago, it was, you're almost ready. And I'm like, almost ready for what? What is coming? What is happening? What new chapter is beginning after this year that has been so hard? By the way, it is 8:48 p.m. currently, Eastern Standard Time, in the great state of North Carolina. On December 31st, if that stays, it's New Year's Eve. It is the last day of 2025. And can I just say, good riddance. This is not a year I would ever want to repeat. It's a story for another time, but the trials and tribulations and pain of this year, which have helped grow me to this point, which have helped push me to this breaking and turning and evolving point that God has shown me. But yeah, that money. We got, so 6 months. And that's a hard ask, right? Like, I'm asking you as your wife to believe me that I am in my right mind and that I am hearing clearly from the Lord. Like, what are you supposed to say to that? Right? Like, if you trust the person and you know the person and you think, and you've seen their worst, you've seen the worst of someone when you live with them and when you spend day after day, year after year with someone. You see the ups, the downs, the tears, the manic episodes. I'm not diagnosed bipolar, but every now and then I'm like, I have a touch. But like between the autism and the ADHD, like I get very on about things and I have much lower moods. I have mood swings. I have crazy mood swings. So like my husband, who has seen the best and worst of me and who knows almost as well as I do, like how carried away I can get on something, I'm talking to him and crying like, I really need to do this thing. And I know how it sounds, and I could talk for a week straight and I could not explain to you everything that God has been doing in my heart and in my life lately. Like, he was, a couple months ago, he was basically dead to the world. He was so sick. And so I tried to lighten the mood by saying, if you think about it, this is really your fault because I thought you were going to die, and it's really grown my faith coming through these last few months. And if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be able to be having this conversation. So it's really uncomfortable. I mean, it's really like I have been so excited and I am terrified, and it was really, really uncomfortable and vulnerable to talk to my husband and kind of kicking myself for like the worst I know of me, of how I can get carried away with stuff, but knowing, deep, confirmed knowing from the Holy Spirit and continued prayer of like, okay, if I need to talk to him, show me when. If I need to talk to him, give me the words to say. Like, if I can't get over this feeling, if this is not just me and a passing thing and me getting overzealous, like, help out, like confirmation and feeling, and like couldn't get past it. So I'm like, I know how I am. He knows how I am. And talking with God, going like, I know that nothing I say can make this make sense. But if it is of you, Lord, help him be okay with it. Help him at least say, okay, do what you need to do. Which was kind of how it went down, and I don't blame him. It's totally fair, because I'm like, God, only you and me, and barely me, only you really know what you and I have been up to, what you are up to in all of this, and like, I can't explain the excitement and the terror. And spent a couple days, like, my husband said he had to think about it. I'm like, think about it, pray about it, and I tried to leave it alone. And then a couple days later, I'm texting him like, I need to turn in my notice, like, tonight or tomorrow, and like, may I please have your blessing? I tried to reassure him some more, like, for years you've been telling me it's going to be okay. It's my turn to say it's going to be okay. And I know I sound like a crazy person, but I am convinced that this is of God and that he's going to bless through this. And, I'm not expecting like, oh, I read a Bible verse and I sang a song, so I'm going to be a viral sensation. Like, it's not like that. I'm not expecting to get rich quick. I'm not expecting, like, it would be awesome. And I've seen how people can like blow up on social media or whatever. Like, if that happens, amazing. But I think the conviction that it is of God. And if I step out of the boat in obedience, He will bless that. Whether that be hundreds of thousands of dollars come pouring in, which I can't even imagine, really, or if it just means our bills will still be paid. And I had this 6-month mark in my mind that, you know, if things don't take off, or if I'm wrong about what this is, although I feel it so strong. Like, I know. And if it's just a test of faith for me to step out of the boat, and then God has a different job or something, like there's a side trail adventure that I have no idea how it connects, you know, awesome. If I'm obedient to what I feel called to do, then God's still going to bless. God's going to help us pay our bills. Like, I'm not trying to get out of work. I'm going to work so much harder on this than I have been for a regular job. Like, I have passion on fire, ready to do this thing, and it's going to take work. And I'm treating it like a business. I'm setting up multiple platforms, my business, nonprofit, ministry stuff, and my personal brand stuff, my website, so that I can have an email, so that when people start sending me marketing stuff, I can have my own, you know, Miriam at miriamoaks.com. So I have a Framer account. I secured my domain. None of this is in the right order, but I need to build my website. Like, I'm launching a full-blown ministry and personal brand scope of, if I'm going to put my life out there on the internet, let's go, let's do this thing, let's create, let's practice, let's get better, let's learn this craft, let's go, let's do this. I have to go all in. So I got a begrudging, basically, I'm not going to stop you, and I hope you know what you're doing, from my husband. Totally fair. Like, I get that. And Monday morning, I composed and sent my resignation letter in. And it's bonkers. And I didn't hear from anybody about it until this morning, which is kind of a long 2 days when you like quit and it's like, does anybody even care? But they do. But this job was a total godsend. Some of the people there have just been wonderful to me, a blessing, and helped me. And God gave me exactly what I needed. And every step of this year has been kind of heartbreaking and confusing and scary and sad and very, very confusing some more. And you get a little bit farther down the road, you're like, okay, I see how that fits to that. And God, I can't imagine a job that would have given me more flexibility than I've been able to have through this time of sickness and back and forth to the hospital in Raleigh, and all of the stuff that's gone on. Like, I cannot imagine, like, I had no idea what I was doing there or how it fit together and whether it was a long-term thing or just to kind of get us through this year. And so God's timing is so good. And when you're in the middle of the not knowing, like right now, my feelings are all over the place, and my neck has been like tied up in a knot of like stress and excitement and, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm doing this thing. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm quitting my job. Like, I've posted 3 YouTube videos. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I know that God told me to quit my job. And I, 4 to 6 weeks ago, saw that video from Ariel Fitzpatrick on when I was still actually doing my UNCG classes, where she did a skit about God saying, remember that dream you had as a child? Yeah, you need to quit your school and your job to pursue that. And it's like, what now? And I watched that video over and over, like feeling the stirring of like, is this me? Is this part of what I've been praying about school? And what does this mean? You know, and like, God is so patient with us, and He's so good, and He understands that we're puny humans. And, you know, He's really, really sweet and patient and nice. And when you're in the middle of not knowing, so like right now I'm petrified and so excited and like relieved because I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And I'm not some super faithful person. I mean, I've always, too much backstory, too many videos, too many things. If anything, I'm an unlikely candidate to be sitting here saying, God told me to quit my job, so I did, because I am anxious. I am a ball of anxiety. I have been my entire life, even when I didn't know it till I got older. And I do have strong belief, strong faith. I would say I always believed growing up, but then the growing of my actual walking with Him faith over these last 8 to 10 years is a struggle because I like to know things. I want to know the details. I want to plan things, and following God, like, you just don't get all the details, right? Come and see, follow me, it'll be okay, I got you. And then like months down the road, years down the road, you're like, oh, thank you, God. That worked out really good the way you planned that out. And He's like, yeah, I know. I'm kind of really good at stuff. And you're like, yes, you're literally the best and you're literally perfection. And if you stop and think about it, it's so ridiculous how we fret and worry about things when He created the fabric of existence and knows every cell of our bodies. He knows what we think before we think it. He knows what we're going to do. Like, He literally knows and made everything. And we have the puny human audacity to fret and worry, and I do it all the time. Like, I am a anxious, want to know the plan person. So the testimony of how He has grown my faith through trial after trial after trial, and living to tell the tale, and like, oh wow, I really thought it was a goner that time. Like recently when my husband was so sick, he was laying on the couch, and I'm like, I'm really sorry if you outlive me, but just know that if I like stroke out and die of stress, that I did my very best to take care of you, and I'm really sorry if you have to outlive me, as he's laying there like a pitiful invalid on the couch. Because I'm like, this could be it. This could be the end of me. Like, I don't know how much more I can take. And now it's New Year's Eve 2025, and I turned in my notice to up and quit my job with all of 3 YouTube videos under my belt. And I know that it's going to be okay. Now, that's not likely to be a smooth, clear, easily understood journey over the next few months, but recording this while it's somewhat fresh, yeah. I really hope to have a really cool testimony to go with this in 6 months of what all has happened and how God has just opened the floodgates of heaven's blessings upon us. But even if that is the case, there's going to be some ups and downs in the middle, and some all arounds and some swervy, like that meme that's like what people think success looks like. And it's like from here to there. Like, no, it's like pitfall, roller coaster, hurricane, tornado. You're okay for a little bit. Oh, here comes some hyenas. Like, just, it's a whole thing. And it's not easy peasy, but I'm doing it. I'm walking on faith, in faith. And it's exhilarating and terrifying. So, to be continued. I'll let you know how it works out. Bye, friends.